except it has 87 and newer side windows instead of the the finned sail panel that came on these. Third brake light, yeah, that would make it an 86. And then the tail lights would be like 87 LX 5 liter. Yeah, 87 to 93 LX 5 liter. Yeah, the wheels would be 91 Mustang GT. But the rest of it is that style side rub strips. Those are 85, 86. Of course, the nose is 86, 85. For 1986, Ford, the blackout trim and the hood, they made it a little bit lighter, a little bit more charcoal instead of black versus 85. But this might be the owner coming. So, hello.
You like that car, huh?
Yeah, is it yours?
Yeah, it's
86?
85.
85. Oh, okay,
85,
but it's got the third brake light and the rear spoiler.
Yeah, well, that's actually an 87. It actually adds up for this thing is a Heinz 57. It's an 87 body.
Oh, it's an 87 body.
Yeah, you know the quarter windows?
Yeah,
The doors?
Okay.
So I had an 85 GT that I picked up from a guy, but the roof was rotted out on it.
Okay.
Had a sunroof and it rotted out around the sunroof.
Yep.
So I bought this body. It was a 4-cylinder automatic car, and I bought this one. I was going to cut the roof off it, but this one was rust free. It actually ended up being an Oklahoma car.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was 57,000 original miles too.
Okay.
Full 2.3 4-cylinder.
Yep.
And bought it from a kid in Ellsworth. I think I gave him $300 for that body.
Okay.
Anyways, I decided to switch everything from the 85 into this body here, not knowing that you can't do the 85 quarter windows. The doors are different.
Yep.
And that hatch.
Oh, okay.
Because you're right. Because my old hatch did not have that third brake light. I ran a wire up to it.
Okay. Yeah, I looked like around 91 or so. I looked at it's either an 80 or 81 255 Cobra.
Okay.
It was like the light brown.
Yeah.
And a used car dealership outside Rochester had it. And the sunroof was rusted so bad, the front of the sunroof, the roof was down an inch.
No kidding.
And they wanted like $1,800, and I says, it's going to take a lot of work to either put in another sunroof or just put just a regular roof skin in. And he wouldn't budge in the price, and I passed.
Yeah.
I'd love to have an 80 or 81 V8 Cobra, but they're so hard to find. I had two 5-liter pace cars from 87 to 91. First a 4-speed, then a project one that was an automatic. But yeah, you just don't see the Fox bodies much anymore, outside of car shows. So
They are getting a little more rare, aren't they? Guys were buying them to part them out. They were buying them for $1,000 and they were pulling everything out of them. And I got a buddy that was doing that. And I'm like, Billy, they're not going to be around for, and they're not now.
Yeah. And now they're worth a lot more.
Now they've come up quite a bit. You ain't going to buy them for that anymore. And
I guess you got to watch the shock towers for rust, and then what? The rear suspension area for rust.
Yeah. Like I said, this one is really a clean car, but it's and then when I put the 85 dash in it, I had to make brackets to the dash mount different. And here's another thing that you might not know: the transmission hump is shorter. In 87, they went to a lower transmission hump. So now, if you look at this one, the center console, you can look through the shift boot and you see light on the carpet. The transmission hump is actually lower. So there was a lot of differences. But But yeah, I got an '87 GT convertible, and yeah, I didn't pay a lot for this one. I bought it from my cousin. He bought it in late '85.
Okay.
And he said, well, you can't fix it. The roof is, he said, I had it painted once years ago, and the roof is rotted out, and I mean, it was when it rained, it would leak on my lap. It was that bad.
Oh wow.
The windshield was bad. So,
Okay.
anyways, and I was gonna fix it, and like I said, I come across this body so cheap, and but it kind of bothers me. I want the older quarter windows.
Okay.
And,
you can't you just drill it out?
no, the quarters are different, and so you could go the other way. You could do, and everybody does, because you know what I'm talking about. The older quarter windows,
Yeah.
they got louvers.
The sail panel.
Yeah.
Yep.
They got louvers on the back of the glass. It's a smaller glass, and they got the louvers. And I like it better. But anyways, that's what I got. So yeah, I just pulled it out from under the tree. I haven't driven in about 3 weeks, so it is dirty.
Yeah, I know those sunroofs because both my pace cars they came factory with a sunroof, and there's tubes that run down the A-pillar, and if they get clogged up, then it's just rust from the from the top down.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
Well, that's the way this one. And I drove it. I mean, it was a great running car. I gave him $500 for the car originally. That was in 2008, so I've only 17 years now. But
so
I drove it. I drove back and forth to work. It was so good on gas. I drove back and forth for the first 2 years. I'm like, man, I love this car. I mean, these things give, with that 5-speed, they're giving 18, 19, 20 miles to the gallon.
Oh, okay.
This one here I got built up now.
Okay.
But it's still giving 18, 19. I don't know how it's doing it. I'll show you under the hood real quick.
Is it EFI?
No. This has got an Edelbrock 4-barrel, 600.
Oh.
600.
Okay. I am recording if you didn't notice.
I figured you were doing something there.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Aftermarket headers.
Yeah, this has got GT40P heads on it now. It's just pretty much stock block. 40 thousandths bore, but it's all stock. And with a 303B cam.
Okay. So is it a 302 or
it's
a
302? This one's a 302, yeah. This is the original block for the car. This is the 85 block.
Oh, okay. So it's roller cam.
It's roller cam, yep.
Okay. In which you have a 5-speed?
5-speed, yep.
Okay.
Yep. The T5, yep.
Okay. I remember when I had my pace car, changing the spark plugs. It was this. I think this right front spark plug was a major pain to get to, and I can't remember what was in front of it. I think.
Did you have the smog pump on? Was there a smog pump on the front of it?
Yeah, there was a smog pump.
I think your AC compressor would be over here, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
maybe not. Maybe it would be here.
The one I had didn't have AC on it, but darn it, I sold that one in '90, and I don't remember what was in the way. I think it was the right front spark plug that was hard to get to. Might have been the right rear.
These are supposed to be tough because the spark plugs on the GT40P heads are at a different angle.
Oh.
This would be like a newer Explorer.
Okay.
97 to 2000 Explorer head, and they ran coil packs, right? The distributors were gone on those, and they ran coil packs. So I think these plugs, where they go straight in, and they're not angled, but you got to get the header, otherwise you'll be burning plug wires.
Now I'm wondering if on mine, I think my spark plugs were angled like that.
Oh yeah?
Could I be right on a 79 302?
I'm thinking that these are almost straight, whereas a original 302 had an angle at them, and that's what. And I don't know what the difference is on the headers, but I know you buy the headers for the P heads.
Okay.
But they're saying that these P heads add 35 horsepower, just bolt on. They're that much better of a flowing head.
Okay. Wow.
So that's a huge upgrade right there.
But that's still an iron.
It's a cast iron head.
Cast iron cylinder head.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's got an RPM Edelbrock intake.
Okay, but okay, with the 303 cam, does it still idle pretty good, or?
It's got a low. It's not
Okay.
super aggressive, but it's got a low to it.
Okay, do you know how much valve overlap there is with the 303?
No. They say it's a pretty aggressive cam, but the fact that it's a roller, it gives a smoother idle than a regular hydraulic cam would.
When I had my pace car, it cracked fuel line, spilled fuel onto the intake, and it caught on fire, and it burned the underside of the hood, and we put it out with a with powder fire extinguisher. Yeah. Then I got sucked in through the air cleaner, got into the lifters, and 3 lifters stuck. And I was working at a Napa at the time, and one of my coworkers, he did a lot of the work, but we replaced the cam and the lifters, changed the oil, and then he didn't tell me that he ordered like a drag strip cam, and I had a stock intake, stock 2-barrel, and it wouldn't idle below 1,000 RPM. It was, it had a definite lope to it, and because I had been talking about getting a 4-barrel intake and carb, and I didn't come up with the money for it, and then it was slower. It was slower because the darn carbon intake was restricting it. Every once in a while, if I just dumped the pedal, it would take off like a banshee. But I ended up selling that car, I wish I still had it. Some people in Nebraska bought it.
Yeah.
They already had, I think, 5 or 6 pace cars already.
Oh, no kidding, huh?
And I looked in one of the pace car registries, and they sold it to some guy who also bought a pace car, parts car with it. Some rich family in Omaha, Nebraska.
What year did you say that car was?
It was a 79 Indy pace.
Because that was the only pace car. 79 was the only year.
79 pace car, yeah, because the only Mustang pace cars was 64, 79, and 94.
Okay. 94 again, okay. I was going to say, it had to be a 79 because if somebody put pace car stickers on it, it wasn't.
No, it was
a 79.
No, it had the right VIN number for a pace car. So because I've researched that, it was 9F03F480544 was the VIN. So
this maybe could use a little touch up again, but it's been about 10 years since I painted it.
Oh, okay, so you did paint it then.
I did paint it. Yeah. Originally, this car was a red, kind of a rusty red color. And the other body was red too, but. Yeah, I was kind of tired of the red, so I switched it over. This is original 85 color. It's titanium. I don't know if they call it silver or gray, but I really like it. I thought it was really sharp.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I went gray with it.
Where did you get the hood decal from?
That was out of one of the Mustang books. It was $50. It wasn't much, and it's a shame. I'm gonna take it off. Because the hood, I slammed her down on the battery. I hit something in the road, and the battery flipped the battery. And so I pull over. I'm trying to get the hood closed, and it was actually hitting the battery. But,
that's not good. The battery didn't explode?
No, it didn't. But this sticker, I actually put this on myself. It's just you stick it on, you just squeegee it out. It didn't look so good, but after it got out in the sun,
yeah, because I've heard when they get the bubbles, if you give it some time, the bubbles will go away.
And that's what it did. Everybody said, you can't live with that like that. I looked at it, I'm like, well, okay, I'll peel it off here when I get a chance, and it straightened out.
Yeah.
And but I think I'm gonna paint it if I get the hood redone. I'm gonna just paint it like a flat black, and I don't know if I'll have the GT in here, probably not. But, I'd like to get a cowl induction, just a 2-inch.
Yeah.
I think guys overdo it, with the 4 inches. It's just too much, but they look really good, I think, with something. But
yeah, I know that Ford, from the 85 to the 86, had a slightly different color to the hood stripe, and then the surrounds around the headlights, they added a little bit of charcoal to the color.
Okay.
And so there's a slight difference.
I know 85 is last year for the carburetor too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Only in the stick. Then everything went to the.
Yeah, because the EFI
86.
one was a non-roller cam, and that had 185 horsepower, and
Oh, no kidding.
I guess, yeah, because 185 versus 210. But the Ford Motorsport catalog, for a few years after 85, they were selling 85 GT motors and listing it at 235 and not 210.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep. I don't know if I still have.
Yeah, I think I did hear that the 85s were 210 because they weren't running the headers at that time, right?
I think it was a factory header. I could be wrong.
They came out with it, and it was real restrictive. Everybody complains that they're not the best headers. But,
well, the 86 had truck heads.
Okay.
And then because the 86 heads were different than 85 and 87. But
now 87's not. No, that's an E7. That's a good head.
Oh, it is. Okay.
That ain't a bad head, but these are the cream of the crop.
Okay.
Unless you find just the GT40 heads that were on the Cobras, that's the ticket. But those are rare.
Oh. Okay.
So I don't know what the P, but that means you got to run the plugs going.
But what year Cobra had those heads?
93 and 94, because 94 was still 302, right?
Yeah, for the Cobra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because 94, 95 was still 302 in the GT.
And they were 235 horse.
I don't remember.
I think so, because and they ran a roller rocker too, I think, on those.
Yeah, because the roller cam started in 85 5-speed. Yeah, but what was it? Because 96 is the first year for the 4.6 overhead cam.
And how they got those engines to fit in these Mustangs, I don't know, because those engines are, 30 inches wide? They got such a...
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I worked at Minneapolis Auto Auction back in 95, and they were, at that time, they were part owned by Ford, part owned by Chrysler, and some other, and they were getting rental fleet cars in from Arizona and California, and they had 94, 95 Mustang GTs coming through there on a regular basis, and